Take the law into your own hands.
They better get these lies right. Hey y'all, it's Jazmine Watson with Alabama Values, and welcome back to They Better Get These Lines Right, the show where we break down the real-life impact of redistricting one map at a time. Today, we're talking about a big win in Alabama, but also about why this moment matters far beyond state lines. We're going to dive into what this victory actually means for our communities and why the Milligan case win is still under attack, because Alabama just won't take the loss. Even after losing at trial and being scolded by the U.S. Supreme Court, state officials are still at their plots and schemes, filing new appeals, pushing the same discredited arguments, and trying to run out the clock. We will also talk about how this win ties into the fight in Louisiana, where SCOTUS just called for a re-argument, giving us another opportunity to show why fair representation matters and to keep pushing for what our communities deserve. A few months ago, on May 9th, 2025, after a full trial, a federal court issued a sweeping and historic ruling. Alabama's 2023 Congressional map didn't just violate Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, it was enacted with racially discriminatory intent. Let that sink in. The court didn't just say the impact of the map was unfair, it said the intent behind the map was to suppress Black political power. Despite Black Alabamians making up more than a quarter of the state's population, the 2023 map packed Black voters into just one congressional district, ensuring that their voices would be minimized everywhere else. The court had already stepped in back in October 2023 to order a new map that created two districts where Black voters had a real opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. But this 2025 ruling did something even more powerful. It confirmed that the map passed by the Alabama legislature was not just unfair, it was unconstitutional, discriminatory, and deliberate. This ruling ensures that the court-ordered map will remain in place for the rest of the decade, creating fair opportunities for Black voters to elect candidates who truly represent them. We already saw the impact in the 2024 elections when Alabama elected two Black members of Congress for the first time in its history, Congresswoman Terry Sewell and Congressman Shamari Figgers. This isn't just a win on paper, it's a transformative moment that affirms what Black voters have been demanding for decades, a real seat at the table and a voice in decisions that shape our communities. But none of this matters if we don't show up to vote. With this fair map in place, your voice counts more than ever. Now is the time to register, get informed, and make sure your vote is ready for every election ahead. Visit alabamavotes.gov for more information on how to register, check your status, and stay up to date on upcoming election deadlines. The power is in your hands. But just when you thought we could celebrate and move forward, Alabama appealed again. On June 6, Secretary of State Wes Allen, State Senator Steve Livingston, Representative Chris Pringle, and AG Steve Marshall officially filed the state's latest appeal, this time directly asking the Supreme Court to overturn the May ruling in Allen versus Milligan. Should the Supreme Court agree to rehear or overturn the case, it will mark the third time Alabama has brought this matter before the court. The case was previously considered by the court in 2022 and again in 2023. Despite rulings against the state at both the trial and Supreme Court levels in 2023, Alabama now seeks to revive its 2023 Congressional map, a plan that a federal court determined to be intentionally discriminatory. And it doesn't end there. To dodge further federal scrutiny, the state has floated a proposal to pause redistricting altogether until 2030. In a filing before the 3-judge panel, Alabama's lawyers and legislative leaders officially stated they won't withdraw the map until after the 2030 census, effectively freezing current boundaries and avoiding court oversight. All of this means the fight isn't just about history. They're actively trying to block the future, shutting the door on accountability and fair representation for the next decade. Let's slow it down and really talk about why this matters for real. When we say maps are power, we mean they control everything. For example, representation. With fair maps, Black communities and other marginalized groups can elect people who share their lived experiences and values. That means elected officials who don't just show up for photo ops, but actually fight for your needs in the halls of power. Resources. When districts are drawn fairly, funding starts flowing into communities that need it the most. Schools, hospitals, housing, public transit, and internet access. Instead of watching your neighborhood get ignored year after year, fair maps can actually deliver what you've been asking for. Accountability. When politicians get to draw voting maps in a way that protects themselves, they can basically choose their voters instead of voters choosing them. That means they can ignore what people want. Better schools, safer neighborhoods, affordable health care, because unfair maps lead to unaccountable politicians. But when we draw the lines right, those in power actually have to earn your vote. That's democracy in action. A stronger South. Bottom line, this win shows that the South is not stuck in the past. Alabama just proved what happens when we organize and fight. And the ripple effect is coming for the entire region. We're redefining what Southern power looks like. Black-led, community-rooted, and unafraid. Alabama's win proved the South is not a lost cause. It's a proving ground. But as we see, now that power is never given, it's constantly challenged. And this win in Alabama isn't the end, it's the beginning. Recently, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a major update in the fight for fair maps in Louisiana. Instead of making a final decision, the court has chosen to rehear the case next term. This means the fair map with 2 majority Black districts remains in place for now, but its future is once again in question. This decision is not a setback, it's an opportunity to deepen our organizing, uplift our communities, and continue the fight for fair maps that truly reflect the people who live in Louisiana. The case in Louisiana mirrors what we saw in Alabama. Just 1 majority Black district in a state where nearly 1/3 of the population is Black. But there's a key difference. When the courts ordered Louisiana to redraw its maps, the state complied and passed a fairer map. Now that map is being attacked, not by the state, but by a group of non-Black voters who are claiming that creating a second majority Black district is unconstitutional. So once again, Louisiana will find itself back in front of the Supreme Court, this time fighting to keep the fair map in place. While this delay is frustrating, it's not a defeat. It's a reminder that our fight isn't over, because the courts don't determine our future. We do. Through organizing, through community, through the power we build together. Alabama's win proves it. When we fight for fair maps, we win real power. But the work doesn't stop there. Tap in with Alabama Values to stay connected with the fight happening in Alabama. And follow our partners at Power Coalition for Equity and Justice in Louisiana to stay connected with the fight in Louisiana. And don't forget, when it comes to the maps, the math, and the movement, they better get these lines right. The South got something to say.